Hello, this project is on basketball analytics, and this was prepared for our BTMA 431 class. To provide some background on our question, we decided to dive into the importance of sports analytics. We came up with 4 main points, the first being to establish and maintain a competitive edge over peers, the second being performance tracking such as using data visualization for heat mapping, the third being best practice for roster builds and strategy, and the fourth being efficient team management for both on the field and off the field analytics. Knowing how basketball is played and the trends in the sport is a good way for determining what questions to ask. The modern NBA is characterized by the following trends: a high pace of play with speed and transition being one of the primary factors to winning, with many NBA teams having gravitated away from post play to a more outside shooting focused strategy. This leads to a need for all active players to have the ability to spread the floor and shoot at a high percentage. 2 notable teams for doing this are the Phoenix Suns and Golden State Warriors. Our question is, which factors in the basketball game contribute most to the win rate, with the factors being free throw percentage, three-point percentage, block percentage, rebound percentage, and steals. Some interesting sub-questions to consider are, do teams win more with higher free throw and three-point percentages? And what are some other basketball statistics to consider for our analysis?
Data scraping and methods. So in order to scrape this data, we needed to go into 2 websites and extract the data. One of the websites is ESPN. From ESPN, we gathered all the so basically all the team names based on their rank, as well as their average win rate based on season. For teamranking.com, we had to deploy a bit more of a sophisticated way to do this. So for example, we had 4 to 5 variables that we needed to extract data from. So from the for the 4 and 5 variables, within those 4 and 5 variables, you also had the team ranking data based on their seasonality. So you had to effectively go into each variable, within each variable, extract the seasonality data based on that. So in order to do that, we deploy something called a nested loop in order to pull the data into R. So terminology of the variables are free throw percentages. These are any shots excluding 3 points and 2 points. 3-point percentages, shots made beyond the 3-point line. 2-point percentages are shots made inside the 3-point line. Block percentages are shots that were blocked. Steal percentages are players causing a turnover. Defensive rebounding percentages are awarded to whoever controls the ball after a missed shot. Win rate percentages are how often a team wins in an 82-game season. Now, win rate percentage is going to be our dependent variable, and all the other variables are on top are our independent variables, aka the ones that we're using to try and predict win rate. So now, as you can see with this graph for average points versus time, it is increasing. So for example, total points per game actually seems to be increasing as time goes on. However, other points such as 3 points, free throw percentages, and field goal percentages tend to have a bit more of a steady rate based on season, with the exception of free throw percentages, which is declining as we move forward.
For our initial approach question, we wanted to see if a team with a higher free throw shooting percentage would also have a higher 3-point shooting percentage. The reasoning behind this was we wanted to explore if a free throw shooting percentage could predict how well a team could shoot 3-pointers. Since free throws show good shooting mechanics, we would expect a team with a higher percentage in that shot to also have a higher percentage in shooting 3-pointers. Here we have a Power BI visual that shows free throw and 3-point shooting percentages compared to the league averages as shown by the yellow and bottom gray line. Currently the graph is showing the full data set from 2004 to 2018, but if we shorten it down to just a single season, we can better visualize the relationship between both shooting percentages. We can see in multiple spots where both shooting percentages peak and dip, which is showing evidence that there is a relationship between the 2 different types of shots.
So here we are looking at how each of the variables we are examining are correlated to one another. So the deeper the shade of red, the more highly correlated the 2 variables are. So from our correlation matrix, if we are just focusing on the correlations between win rate and other variables, we can see that 2-pointers are the most highly correlated with win rate, with 3-pointers as the second most highly correlated variable to win rate, then block percentage, defensive rebounds, steals, and lastly with free throw percentage as the least correlated variable to win rate. So this is a visual depiction of the correlation between our top two most highly correlated variables to win rate from our previous slide against win rate. In the first plot, we can see that generally as 3-point shooting percentage increases, win rate percentage increases as well. Similarly, in the second plot, as 2-point shooting percentage increases, win rate increases. So both 3-point percentage and 2-point percentage show a positive correlation to win rate, which leads us to the question, can win rate be predicted by 3-point shooting percentage or 2-point shooting percentage, or are there other variables that may be better at predicting win rate?
So the next thing we did is put this on a regression model. So we wanted to look at which variable contributes most to the win rate percentage, whether it's 2-point, block, steal, defensive rebound, 3-point free throw, or which one contributes the most. Based on the regression output that we got, we can conclude that free throw percentage has no statistical significance in predicting win rate percentage. Also, this output tells us that there might be other variables that impact win rate for teams. So using random forest, we predicted the win rate based on our regression model and compared it to our actual win rate. Random forest takes all of your data points and puts it into decision trees, which runs a regression, and then it allows you to plot the average of 500 simulations. Based on our current data, our independent variables predict the average win rate at high accuracy.
Now that we've learned a little bit about basketball analytics, let's take a look at some real-world implications. Basketball analytics is a very valuable tool for NBA executives and other staff in order to make optimal decisions. For example, it can help with roster management and drafting strategies, as well as gaining or maintaining a competitive advantage over other teams during the season. That concludes the video. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope you learned a little bit about basketball analytics.